Name a successful communist country. Name a country that called itself communist in the first place, and then we'll start there. Cuba, China, Soviet Union. Try again. None of those countries called themselves communist. They called their political parties communist and outwardly expressed that they were instituting a state-run socialism in the context of global imperial capitalism. If you're going to make an accusation, at least be historically accurate. Okay, name a successful socialist country then. Do you understand the distinction between socialism and communism? It's all the same. Yeah, I didn't think so. Socialism as a political economy, as a way for a society to organize around the prevailing mode of production, distribution, and exchange, always works, is always successful. Socialism is a success if you are in the working class because your standards of living have increased. Socialism is a failure if you are in the capitalist owning class because your standards of living have decreased. A country is said to be socialist if it uses its land and its resources to the benefit of its own people. When countries decide that they are not open to American business, that they are pursuing their own self-determination, that they stand against American capital accumulation, then they are treated like a pariah state and undermined at every turn, both economically and militarily. Socialism is for workers, communities, and globally speaking countries that own, operate, and run their own land and resources and their means to produce commodities. This is otherwise known as economic nationalism or agrarian reform. It's simply the idea of letting people decide what to do with their resources. Socialism is a success for people. It is a failure for private capitalists. Capitalism is private ownership of public resources. Socialism is public ownership of public resources. I cannot believe that you just said Cuba, China, and the Soviet Union were successful socialist countries. And yet they were. All three of those countries greatly improved the standards of living for most people compared to pre-revolutionary conditions, which is always the benchmark by which to judge social movements. Did they improve the standards of living for most people? Surprise, surprise, when people are left alone to pursue a course of self-determination and not imperialized or colonized, they tend to know how to use their land and resources to benefit themselves.